That's why you don't let Bobby play with the damn buttons on 420. Happy 420, people. And as always, boom, just like that, it's Thursday night. You're partying with the Video Bros and our very special guest. It is Enjay, local hip-hop artist, and just dropped your debut. Just dropped your brand new video here today featuring talent for Prairie Pro Wrestling, Akimbo. What a kick-ass video, my man. And we are going to play it later on in the program here as people start to get in. But yes, thank you for joining us here tonight. Appreciate you coming by.
Hell yeah, dude. Anytime. What an intro. What an intro. The vibe in here is crazy already. I'm hyped.
Just you wait, because this is the part where I get to introduce my partner in crime, the man beside me, the man with the angelic voice. He is Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes. Yeah. Happy 420, brother. How are you doing? I think Papa Smokes is so good, he's already gone comatose.
We may have lost him for a second there.
We might have. It's some technical difficulties, but, you know, in the meantime and in between time, while Papa Smokes resets himself, there he is. Oh, he's back.
You blew me right offline, Munson, with that one.
It's the weed, man. I'm telling you, it's the weed. It's all doing crazy stuff to us here today. Look at this. We got some great people joining us in the chat, as always. Master, my man, how you doing? He says, Enjay, my man.
What's up, man?
As always, Thursday nights just aren't as fun without B. Carter. The wait is over. Let's get it on. And happy birthday, Brian Carter. It's your birthday, my man. Happy birthday. Hope the day is kicking some ass for you.
What a day to be your birthday.
Right? Oh, yeah. I wish. My cake would be just lined with joints.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah.
We got Bastard Evening, boys. She's almost PPW time. You bet it is, my man. We're only a couple sleeps away. We're going to be talking all about it coming up. Got to clip that, Bobby. Yeah, I'm sure there will be some good clips from tonight, my man. Definitely. And as always, speaking of PPW, always behind the scenes, helping us out, always serving those drinks, serving up the great food, making those tacos in a bag. It's Antiwuji. How are you doing? Good to see you. Happy 420 to you. And yes, Brian, you're welcome. Yeah, if I'm not much on the singing side, so I don't know if I'm going to do any happy birthdays here tonight, but I do know who knows how to drop a few rhymes. That man below us, Enjay. Let's talk a little bit about Akimbo. So it was fantastic. You had reached out to us at Prairie Pro Wrestling saying that you were at the previous show. You and your videographer had gone in and done some footage there at the show and wanted to use it for this new video. This was fantastic. We loved it right from the get-go. All the boys loved it when we showed it to them. Tell us how this came about. What brought you guys to Prairie Pro Wrestling that day, and what came across your mind for doing this video?
Oh, man. Yeah. So that was, I've known about PPW for a little bit. That was my first time at a live show. Obviously with COVID and everything, it's been tough to get out to live stuff. And yeah, it's been kind of a slow ease back into things for a lot of people. So, but I was actually working with a guy who I don't want to expose him or give away any names, but I was working with a guy who was actually training with a few of the PPW wrestlers, like a few of the guys that were on that show. So he's super green. He's really new, loving it though, apparently, all bumps and all. Yeah, he was like, man, you got to come. He knows, how much I'm into wrestling. My girlfriend is maybe even a bigger wrestling fan than I am. So we both were just like, yes, like we'll be there. And then my videographer, we were talking about doing videos for a few of my more recent songs, and we went out for drinks one night and we started talking about like just all kinds of inspiration. We talked about like kaiju movies, like old Godzilla movies and stuff. We talked about like old video games that I used to play, like a lot of Mortal Kombat. Obviously wrestling games was huge for me growing up, and then wrestling was just like a thing that kept coming up, and how I find a lot of parallels between like rapper personas and wrestler personas. I think they're essentially kind of doing the same thing in terms of storytelling. It's very macho. It's very over the top a lot of the times, especially in high level pro wrestling. So yeah, I've always kind of gravitated toward hip hop and wrestling. And I think I like the same things about both of them. So we were like, fuck, like, so Akimbo, the reason it's called that is I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. and there's a perk that allows you to have a gun in each hand. So you're Akimbo, you have 2 guns. So when we were talking about the video, we were like, what if we made it like almost like it's 2 completely different videos? Like we have a video of me rapping and then a video of something else. So we threw around a bunch of ideas. I'm really into racing. So we were talking about maybe going to the racetrack and getting some footage of there when it got a little bit nicer and a lot of that stuff. But then when this wrestling show happened, we were like, shit, dude, like it's perfect. It's like that duality that I wanted to showcase of like the similarities between like a rapper rapping a song and a wrestler cutting a promo. Like we're doing the same thing, you know. I'm very inspired by promos. I wish a lot of times I could take the things that they're saying and like put that in a song sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea for Akimbo came up. My videographer, Jacob Farrell, he is a ballsy man and he just decided to go for it. He was like, let's just I'm just going to shoot some stuff and we'll figure it out later. I was fully prepared to like be like, get kicked out or like at least ask to like, hey man, film in here or whatever. But like, we just did it. We were kind of in like an inconspicuous spot until the end. In the main event, they did this whole spot outside of the ring and the crowd right where I was standing. Like I was like almost getting hit with elbows and stuff. So everyone was kind of looking right where we were. And Jacob was trying to kind of subtly film and stuff. So then the next day we had this conversation of like, okay, there's 2 ways we can approach this. We can either reach out to these guys, see if like what they think, see if they would be into this kind of stuff, or we can just scrap it and try another thing. And I was worried that we were going to reach out and it was going to be like, absolutely not, no way, this isn't going to work. Because after I saw the footage, I was like, we can't not use this. Like, how are we, like, what are we going to do if they say no? Like, I don't know. This is just going to get deleted. Like, oof, my soul, you know? So yeah, I took the chance. I was like, no, I'm reaching out. We're not going to, you know, risk this just like ending up on the cutting room floor. And yeah, I got in touch with Bobby there and dude, super receptive. Everybody's been so awesome. I've had a few of the guys, like a few of the wrestlers, you know, give me a follow and, you know, tell me that they've been really liking the song. So I'm really soaked with the reaction. I'm soaked with the relationship. I'm excited to hopefully do more stuff with PPW and just with pro wrestling in the future, man. I would love to exist in that world in some way, as much as I can as a musician. So.
Yeah, and just to touch on that in just a moment here. First, we're going to say hello to our good friend Bubba Duke, Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke, that goes on right before Ring Respect Radio, where they're playing some video games there. Him and OMD doing a fantastic job there tonight. Congrats, fellas, on the brand new show, bringing it here to our local establishment. Love you guys. Thank you very much. But yeah, going back to that, I remember when the message came through, because there's a lot of us behind the scenes at Prairie Pro Wrestling that kind of wear many hats and do a lot of different things. And in order to kind of just keep up with the ongoing amount of requests and things that are coming through, a lot of that stuff does come through me, and then I'll report it to some of the management team through Prairie Pro Wrestling. And so the conversation happened right away. It was immediate. Once I saw this thing, I'm like, this is fantastic. And being on the video side, I have zero problem with people taking video at Prairie Pro Wrestling shows. Wholeheartedly encourage it, share it, put it on social media. The more the people are talking about it, the better for us all. I take no offense to it. In fact, you know, I like to grow the video production team as much as possible. So please take the more videos. Maybe I've got some work for you all down the road. But, you know, this comes through. Start talking to the boys. The first thing that gets told to me, send it to everybody who's in the video, get their approval first. Totally fair. Yeah. Send it to all of them. It was within, I think, less than half a day. I've got responses immediately. Yeah. This is awesome. Yes, perfect. No problem at all. Fantastic. Guys were wanting to share it that day already. I had to put the brakes on it. Like, no, boys, no. It's not done yet.
Oh, man.
Pump the brakes. So cool. We'll get there kind of thing. So when it came out today, not only were the boys all excited, but we've already had some of the PPW Nation fans actually reach out and talk about how awesome it was that they were in the video as well, too. Some of the people that were holding the signs and it reached out to us, just all tickled pink about being able to be part of your video.
Man, and can I just say, like, that exactly, like, everything that you describe is why I love this community and why I love wrestling fans in general. When I was in line, we showed up a little bit late. To be honest, when we went to that show, we had no idea how many people were going to be there. Like, we didn't know what the vibe was. And we showed up a little bit late. And when we realized how big the line was, we were like, oh, fuck. Like, I can swear on here, right?
Oh, yeah, we don't mind.
Okay.
We don't mind.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, we need to show up early next time so that we can actually get seats. But we realized how many people were there. We're standing in this big line of people, and everyone's just kind of having their own conversations, doing their own thing. And all it took was one guy to do a Ric Flair woo. And all around me, it was like everyone was doing woos. And I was like, man, I am around like the right people. Like it feels so, somebody from like the music side of things, a lot of music showcases, concerts, stuff like that. They don't really have that same kind of energy. Everybody kind of feels like they have something to prove. Everybody kind of has this like guard up. But I find with every time I've ever been to any wrestling event, it's just like all love. Everybody's so like, nobody cares. Nobody's like trying to, when they get in there, especially people are screaming, people are sweating, just like they don't give a shit. And I love that. It's like so human, you know, there's art in it for sure.
Oh yeah. It's so beautiful every single time with the PPW shows, and they are like that. That's why we warn people, get there early, get in that line early.
Yes.
We know our man Basser always holding that line. That guy's a damn trooper. He was the one that was sitting on the bench watching the Elimination Chamber pre-show on his cell phone. Yeah, as he says, at 5:45, baby, in shorts in Saskatchewan weather, freezing his balls off because he knew how sweaty it was going to get up in that event right afterwards. What a great trooper he is as well, too.
That's commitment.
Yeah. Well, folks, I'm going to turn it over to you for a little bit here. I know you've got a plethora of things to talk about.
For sure. I wanted to thank you for coming on the show, MJ. This is really cool. And I noticed that you used the word community when you talked about wrestling fans and stuff. I think that's an interesting thing too, because we also talk about that amongst PPW fans. Like you said, it is a little community. Those people that wait in line outside to get their seats and to get their good stuff, they all talk. And then a lot of those fans know each other. We have lots of different fans too, but a lot of those fans know each other and come in, and then they know what each other's chants are and their heckles and their cheers and all that stuff. They entertain themselves half the time. But what I was really trying to get around to is it's kind of neat to have you on here and have you doing stuff with the company, because it's kind of a cross promotional thing, right? And I just wanted to ask your feelings about that. Just maybe getting your stuff out to a different audience than you're used to getting it out to. And same with PPW, getting to feature some local original rap music.
Man, I love it. I love it. So I've been rapping and like putting out music since 2011. So it's like 12 years. I was 14 or 15 when I started really releasing music on YouTube. I'm 27 now. So I've been doing it a very long time in this city. And I've always like, I've had opportunities to do things that felt maybe like kind of off brand at times, where it was like, this is like maybe a risk. For example, I got asked to open for Insane Clown Posse when they came to Saskatoon back in like, this was like, I want to say like 2016, 2017, something like that. And one of the best shows I've ever done. And I've opened for all kinds of artists, but it's also, you know, maybe the artists that relate the least to the kind of music that I make out of all the artists that I've opened for. Like, I don't really associate myself a ton with that crowd or that type of music, but like, man, the people in the crowd were amazing. They were so like, I sold more shirts than I've ever sold before. I had more people just come up to me and be like, dude, you are incredible. Where can I follow you? Where can I buy your stuff? Like, as an artist who, like, we're all broke. And like the fact that there was people who had met me for the first time that night that were like, I want to like give you money for your art. It is that good. Like, it's like, that's so like, what? Like, you don't get that at a lot of, the only other artist I really had a lot of people like that was when I opened for Tech Nine, who's in kind of a similar, I think, vein as like Insane Clown Posse in terms of some of their fans. So like, I've always thought that subcultures, if you can exist in a subculture, they will embrace you and you will carry each other. And it's just like a symbiotic relationship. I think that's when I said I'm 27. So when I started watching wrestling was like 99, 2000, when I was really young, up until like 2005 is when I'm heavy into it now, but I definitely fell off around 2005, 2006. But wrestling at the time was subculture. It wasn't necessarily like the culture. And then it was a little bit before my time with like with the Attitude Era and stuff. But I think when I was really watching wrestling, it was a lot more subculture. It was like, you didn't meet a lot of wrestling fans in person. It was, it wasn't as popular as like MMA when I was a teenager. Everyone watched UFC, but like I knew 3 wrestling fans in person. So it's like, when you find those people, it's like, oh my gosh, these are my people. Stay with me forever. Like, come watch every pay-per-view at my house. Like, that's just the kind of person that I've always been. And I've always felt like, yeah, it's like you said, it's a community. It definitely feels like more so than a lot of things. Any other sport that I've ever been a part of, any musical thing that I've been a part of, wrestling has this like very tight knit community. They have each other's backs.
Yeah, and I find the best part about wrestling fans, especially like our PPW Nation fans, is that they seem open to just having a good kick-ass time. It doesn't matter if it's PPW, if they're going out to the bar afterwards, if they're going to a rap show, a rock show, a metal show, it doesn't matter. They just love the community and loving having a good time, loving having some drinks served by the wonderful Auntie Woogie. Like it's a fun-ass time, and that's the thing, like, Pop Spokes and I, we're there, we're filming, we're working, sweating, breaking our backs, having a good time at the same time. I mean, because it is hard to be on that side and not crack a smile with the chants that are going on, with the excitement from the crowd. You just almost want to climb back on the other side and participate half the time, because it seems like such a great time. And then the more we see everybody else enjoying it, the more we enjoy it as well, too, on the other side of things. And this crossover has been absolutely phenomenal for both parties. And as we were talking about it before, Akimbo, as of right now, it might even be more now, but 100 views already on YouTube today. Gonna hopefully keep that growing. But I think
on the up. Yeah, and that's with no real advertising too. We haven't even started the ad campaign that we have planned for it. So
Yeah, we just keep those numbers growing. Again, the song also on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken, as well too. Your stuff can be found there. But while we have everybody's attention, we're talking to Akimbo, we're talking about PPW. Let's go ahead. Let's play the Akimbo music video for everybody here, so that you can see exactly what we're talking about, and then we can come back to talking about it a little bit further. Get this all shared up here for you guys. Looks good on it. That in there.
Oh yeah.
So. All right, rock and roll, guys.
Stomping through the halls, we don't tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominate in Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with Akimbo. Stomping through the halls, we don't tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominate in Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with Akimbo. Been around scary folk, never stereotype, man, we barely spoke. I learned it's best to keep a wild card very close. You never know when you caught in that stereo. Oh, they always wonder how I took my past and ran with it. If you call it, I ain't answering. You fighting with a southpaw, make you switch your stance if we dance again. Hard body cocky, but American. No mistakes, I'm prepared again. Yeah. High stakes, y'all embarrassing. Wu-Tang and NWA handle parenting. So hip-hop was the blessing I inherited. Walk around confident, like every time I touch a microphone I body it. Until imposter syndrome got me feeling fraudulent. Know my shit stinks, so I'm bad at taking compliments. But I'm great at talking shit. Yeah. Stomping through the halls, we don't tiptoe. Kill streaks like we dominating Skid Row. When we down, you still never see my click throw. I just pull up on you with Akimbo. I just pull up on you with Akimbo.
Man, I still smile when I see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every time.
And it's fantastic. And just, I wanted to ask you right now, while the credits are rolling up on the screen, your director there, Jacob, a little bit about Jacob's background. Have you guys worked together before? What's some of the projects that Jacob has worked on previous to this?
So Jacob, he's a friend of mine. This is actually the first thing that we've worked on together. We're both part of an art collective called Sadie. So that's where, me and my band 6M kind of exist within, I'll let that finish there. Yeah. Me and my band kind of exist within 6M. And we are always open to working with new artists. Jacob actually lives in my drummer Alex's apartment building. So we're friends through like a few mutual people, but, we just kind of have become closer recently, and I think are just starting to kind of understand how each other work and things like that. And yeah, he approached me actually to do a video for a different song of mine, actually called Galil, from my project Reload 3, which is also on streaming anywhere you listen to music. You can check out all my stuff. But that was originally what we were going to use this wrestling footage for. Actually, it was a different thing when we were discussing kind of like all the different ideas, like what can we shoot, what's this, and then we course corrected. And then when we saw the footage from the PPW event, we were like, okay, yeah, it's Akimbo, like it has to be. So yeah, we have more videos that we're working on right now. I put out a trilogy of projects in the last few years called Reload. So there's Reload 1, 2, and 3. So Akimbo's from Reload 1. So we're doing a video for a Reload 2 song and a Reload 3 song. So I won't say which ones yet, but those are on the way as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. What were some of your influences that got you into music in the first place?
Oh, dude. Everything. My parents listened to the wildest shit. My mom is 20 years older than me, so the age gap between us isn't huge, which I'm super grateful for, because my mom listens to like Rage Against the Machine and shit. Like my mom was like a cool person. So like I got to grow up with like somebody who showed me like, Nirvana, even like more obscure bands like Extreme, shit like that. Like my mom really liked. And then my dad was super into rap, was into like Eminem, NWA, things like that. And then I discovered Wu-Tang pretty early on, and MF Doom. And I think once I had that was kind of like, I could study these for years and not ever really understand them. Like I can listen to Wu-Tang over and over and over again and find new things. And to me, that's always like the sign of something like really special and really great. So I just kind of stuck with that. Like, okay, Wu-Tang, that's really special to me. And then outside of hip hop and rap, like I loved Linkin Park when I was a kid because there was rapping in it. So like any like new metal, Limp Bizkit, basically all the music that was used in like the Attitude Era, all that shit, Mudvayne, fucking Puddle of Mud, all that kind of like loved all that stuff growing up. yeah, just it's pretty broad in terms of my and then electronic too, like Aphex Twin. I love Daft Punk.
Nice.
So stuff like that. The only thing I like country, but like old country. I'm not as much into like current like pop country. Like I love like Johnny Cash and like you know
gritty stuff.
Oh yeah, like stuff where like you could tell these people are gonna die young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a young guy in that genre, though, Coulter Wall from Saskatchewan does a kick-ass job. Yeah,
so dope. Yeah. Coulter
Yeah.
Wall is sick.
For sure. Talking about albums, we're going to take a quick moment for a segment on this show. It happened here once, but we're bringing it back. It's show and tell time with Papa Smokes on Ring Respect Radio. Papa Smokes, what do you got for us in show and tell this week?
Yeah, well, I was kind of excited that we were having a hip-hop based episode, so I had an item that I wanted to show. I listened to some vinyl. I don't have a ton of records. I hardly have any rap records, but I want to show this one because I ordered it in special, and it came in with such an awesome cover. Let me make sure I can get this on the camera. Good here. Cool Keith.
Yes.
Lovely lady.
Yes.
That's a nice one, hey?
Smokes pulling out the deep cuts.
Cool Keith, man. See, and like even older rap, like even pre-90s rap, like I love Public Enemy a lot. Like I think it doesn't necessarily hold up like compared to like a lot of today's music, but there's something about it that's like this is very visceral and it's kind of like when you watch really old wrestling. It's like, it necessarily doesn't necessarily hold up all the time, but it's like the story that's being told and like, it mattered in a different way. So you can appreciate it in a different way. So
if you want old wrestling that holds up, Papa Smokes is the guy you need to talk to. This guy has shown me old school wrestling that tops anything that you can turn on today.
The fact he has a Cool Keith. Yeah, the fact that you have Cool Keith is like, that's you're certified. You know your stuff.
For sure. And Cool Keith kind of reminded me too of something you said earlier too about some of the parallels between wrestling and hip hop is that like some of those rappers have personas and characters such as Wu-Tang Clan. They all had a name from an Asian kung fu movie and stuff like that. And symbols and kind of costumes and stuff. Same thing with MF Doom, right? Like he was very much superhero and comic book oriented with the metal face mask and all that stuff. And then Cool Keith, similar to that too. Sometimes he's Dr. Octagon. Sometimes he's these various kind of super villain personas that he has. And some of the songs then can be adventures of one of his personas. And it just opens it up creatively so much.
I think the best rappers do that. When I think about like Eminem did that with like Slim Shady, you even like, I think Eazy-E is like totally a persona. Like obviously like he was a bad motherfucker. He was a gangster, but at the same time, like a lot of that was the character, that persona that he created. And I feel like that's why it's so shocking to listen to, because it's almost like, I feel like when I write in that way, almost like I'm portraying a character, I feel like I can say whatever the fuck I want. I don't necessarily need to agree with or stand by it even, because it's like, it's not me saying it. It's this other fucking guy that I am. So you're totally right. I think Wu-Tang, I also love Slipknot. So again, very much into like personas, masks, visual presentation with it. So yeah, that's kind of, I like that you picked up on that, because 100%. I definitely like musicians where there's like an aura, there's like a mysticism about this almost like character that they are. Yeah.
And if you like Slipknot, just saying that the entire full concert from last year can be found on the Video Pros Network, mine and Papa Smoke's channel, that I might have been holding out a camera phone during that one there so that everybody could enjoy the show. So yeah, that one's got some good views for us. I think
how many views on that one? Yeah, how many views on
that's
that
going to be exceeding 50K at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
But wrestling matches do really, really well as well, too. We're going to talk about some PPW here, guys. But before we do, it is the 420 special. So I wanted to go around the table.
Yeah.
I want to find out from you guys a story about what your favorite experience with weed was. Maybe a good story from a good old time getting high, or a favorite particular type of weed. So I'm going to go down to you, Enjay, first. Favorite type of weed and a good story of an experience.
Favorite type of weed is tough, man. I worked at a weed store for a while last year, just as like a side job to make some extra cash. And so I tried a ton of weed, man. But there's one strain that stands head and shoulders above the rest. And that is, it's a strain called Flapjacks.
Okay.
The only distributor that I know of that makes it is called Contraband. That's like two separate words.
Yeah.
And I can't find it anywhere in the city anymore. And it pains me. But I was to the point with that stuff where I was like driving around like way out of my way to go to other stores to be like, do you have Flapjacks? And then a good story about weed. I have a lot from working at a weed store, but mine is probably the first time I ever smoked, which is maybe a cheating. But I was in high school. Yeah. I was in high school. I was maybe like 16, 17, and we went to this one guy's house whose mom actually sold weed. And so I had never smoked weed before. I was super nervous. Stories about my friend to the
Yeah, well, if your friend's Papa smokes, we are going to get to him right away. So
yes,
just so you know.
Sure, it's your friend. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I go over to this guy's house, and it's like pretty sketchy. Like his mom sells weed, and the house is like super run down, and like it just, the whole vibe was just really weird. We went up into this random room upstairs and sat around a table like it was fucking That 70s Show, and just smoked. And I remember smoking and being like, nothing happened. Like, I guess I need to smoke more. So we smoked more. And then I kept smoking. And then we had to take the bus home. And I remember I got on the bus and I fell asleep. So I like missed my stop, and the bus just kept going on like rotations. And finally somebody, I can't remember if it was the bus driver or if it was somebody else, but I remember getting woken up and just looking around and feeling like I was asleep for hours. It was probably like 45 minutes, but I felt like I was like, where the fuck am I? What just happened? So it was a pretty fun first experience with weed. It was anxiety inducing, but I didn't smoke again for like a few years.
Awesome. Before we go to you, Bob Smokes, Pastor saying that he likes the ladies' night out stream because it comes in a 3-pack of pre-rolls, one for him, one for Bobby, and one for Jeff. That's kind of a funny story about a night out at wrestling in Mormon, Saskatchewan. That was the pre-roll pack that Basser picked up for the three of us to go and have that night. And many drinks and many smokes later, a good night was had by all, except for people watching that particular card because it wasn't the greatest. But over to you, Papa Smokes.
Well, that's when you went to the Outlaw Mud Show, right?
That was the Outlaw Mud Show. Yes, I dared step foot in it.
That's your fault for going to that.
Oops.
Okay, well, to talk about weed, I was thinking I would just bring up my current favorite kind, of which I started early this morning with my homeboys at work. I buy these 3 packs of half-gram infused joints with the kind of fruit flavors, and I like the honeydew boba is what they're called. They're absolutely delicious, and I started bringing those around work, and now all the boys love them. We smoke them all the time. They're like $10 a piece. Who the hell cares? They get you blasted.
I have one of them over there. I have one,
nice.
A honeydew
Nice.
boba. They're the general admission, I think, that makes them. I buy the 1 gram ones though, which are fucked. They kill you. I can't finish a full one by myself. I don't know, but yes, crazy. I need your story though. I need to know the context to this.
Yeah. We got a story. Bob Smokes, give us a story. Best story of you getting baked. Oh, we lose him again. He's gone. You back?
He looks like he's deep in thought.
He's deep in thought. Bob Smokes, you got a good weed story for us. A good night out with but
Yeah, we're back. I was losing audio for a second there.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, I do have a story for us. This was another time when I was at a work staff party, and there were, let's just say, a lot of heavy smokers there amongst all of us. And we were trying to think of some wacky stunt to do. So we bought this super blunt paper, like this big giant blunt paper. We started saying donations, and everybody came around, like the village that's gonna make soup. Everybody brings something and puts it into the pot in the middle, and we had all this shit, and then this big giant blunt paper, and my buddy and I had to do the 4-hand roll, like kind of like one of those piano songs that you need 4 hands to play. Like we needed 4 hands to roll this thing, and it was
that was Bluntzilla, wasn't it? You guys fucking had Bluntzilla. I know you.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Blunt, and it was. It didn't turn out too great. It was too big, and it was just this heavy, hanging kind of banana type thing, and you had to use 2 hands to smoke it. But we all had a good laugh, and you get a story out of it at least.
You got everybody spit all over the back end of that thing by the time it's gone around the table enough times. Yeah, it's fantastic.
The roach was like a half ounce.
I remember the ones because there's been more than one occasion where you do that. And you get a few people together that got a lot. And you all toss in about a quarter each. Yeah, next thing you know, you've got a nice big fat ounce joint, smoking that thing up like Cheech and Chong. Yes, I'm not going to deny this statement. This is 100% true. And Melball said, gentlemen, thanks for coming by. Happy 420 to you. Hope you've been smoking well. We're just talking about favorite strains, favorite stories, and I guess it comes down to me now. Strain is easy for me. It's Blue Rhino 1947. I had a friend that grew this stuff medically at the time, and let me try it. It is a creeper of a weed. Tastes absolutely beautiful, but once it hits hard. And we got Astrid joining us. Astrid, I know you don't necessarily partake, but happy 420 to you. Thanks for coming in by the show. And everybody who wants to check out Astrid later on tonight, making an impact over on her Twitch channel there, talking all things Impact Wrestling. But yes, obviously, Blue Rhino 1947 was my favorite strain. There was a bit of an okay story from that night, but I'll tell you guys one of the funniest stories that involves me. So I had this rotten day at the office the one day, and I said to myself, okay, it's Friday, I'm coming home, I'm sitting in the basement, I'm going to pull out some old CDs, I'm going to listen to some old, gothic metal or something like that, because that was the mood I was in, and I'm just going to get baked. And I've got this long green glass Gandalf pipe at the time. So I'm sitting down on the couch in the basement, puffing away on this Gandalf pipe, listening to Cold Chamber and all these Slipknots and everything like that I've got spinning on at the time. And all of a sudden my phone rings, and I pick it up, and my buddy's on the other line. He starts talking to me. I'm not listening at all, or just not understanding, because that's the kind of state I'm in at this point, because I'm so far gone. And what he's trying to ask me is if I wanted to go to see the movie 300. And I remember turning around and going, dude, like, what's this about tree huggers? I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, no, the movie. I'm like, there's a movie called Tree Huggers. Like, what kind of shit you smoking or whatever? And he's like, I'm coming by to get you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I hang the phone up, put the bowl in my lap, and I'm sitting there for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, there was something I was supposed to be doing. I can't remember what it was. So I'm like, I better go figure this out. So I decide to stand up, not remembering that the glass pipe is sitting on my lap. Poor Gandalf goes flying, shatters into a million pieces. I'm devastated. So I clean up all the glass, and then I go upstairs, and I walk outside because I just wanted some fresh air. And my buddy's sitting out there with his car. So I go up to his car, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, we're going to the movie, man. We're going to see the movie 300. I'm like, oh, I've seen that movie already. And he goes, get in the goddamn car now. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I hop in his car. He hands me over a joint. We start getting baked on the way to the theater. It's only a couple blocks away. Get to the movie theater. It's already started by about 5 minutes. So it's a dark theater, absolutely packed. And I've got the munchies. So I grab the thing of nachos with the cheese and a Coke. Let's walk it up to the only seats that are in the back aisle of this thing. I go to sit down, and as I sit down, I fucking karate chop the nacho plate. it spins completely over into my lap. And I'm like, oh shit, well, at least it lands in my lap. So I reach underneath, tip it back over, and I look and I'm like, the nachos are there, but where the hell did the cheese go? And I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, this cheese is probably in the dude's lap beside me. This guy's going to murder my ass. So I'm fearing this whole movie that this guy's going to find out that I dropped cheese sauce on him and he's going to end up knocking me out. And then I go to take a sip of my drink and realize that the cheese sauce had landed right on top of the cup that was in my cup holder. So I ended up getting a big handful of cheese sauce. Oh. And I'm going, wiping this shit down. And 10 minutes later, I fall asleep in the middle of the theater because I was just exhausted.
It wasn't even worth it.
No. And of course, yes, Gandalf. No.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. It's a sad time when any glass pipe breaks, but especially when you got a Gandalf that breaks. And yeah, that's really one of my more ridiculous stories. There's been some interesting ones I could go on about, but I'm not going to let people get away with it too much. They're going to have to come back next year when we do a almost 420 special or something like that. So
yeah, definitely. We could make this like a regular thing.
I like it. Yeah, make it an annual thing. Party with the Video Bros and Enjay every year for 420. I think we may make it happen. But hey, guys, let's talk some Prairie Pro Wrestling because, again, that's why we've all come together here. We got Prairie Pro Wrestling this coming Saturday in Saskatoon. It's the Bridge City Beatdown, and it's going to be a big card. A lot of great matches that are going to be there. One that's just unfolding, and NJ, this will be new to you because you just joined in Prairie Pro Wrestling last time around. We've had a couple of guys that have been out of Prairie Pro Wrestling for the last few shows. Talking about Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and Levi Knight. These two actually went down to the States. They did some extra training and work with Cody Rhodes at the Nightmare Factory and have returned back to Canada and are now going to be making their return to Prairie Pro Wrestling this Saturday. But they're not just making their return individually. They're making a return to take on each other. So Michael Allen, Richard Clark came onto the Prairie Pro Wrestling Facebook to announce that he was coming back. He was ready to see the Saskatoon fans again, all psyched. And then all of a sudden a video drops from All Night Levi Knight. He does not like the Clarks trying to steal that thunder from him. So he is pissed off. And so the match seems to be set. We're going to have All Night Levi Knight and Michael Allen, Richard Clark facing off this Saturday night. Guys, this is big. People are going to be stoked. Michael Allen is obviously clearly one of the biggest names in Saskatchewan wrestling. Him coming back here, the fans are going to be electric. And you know, divisive as he is, Levi Knight does have some bastard-like supporters out there. As we got Chris Parrish, speaking of awesome wrestlers, our buddy Chris Parrish joining us here. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hope you had an okay day at work. No day at work is ever good, but hope it leaves was bearable. Bastard wants to know, what shirt does the guy wear? You're the guy with all the shirts, man. Wear them all. You can just rip them off as we go along. You know, support everybody. It's awesome. But yeah, you can bust out your Levi Knight and your Michael Allen shirt this time around. But yeah, aside from that, a lot of the same names are going to be returning. We got El Assassino, Cannonball Kelly ready to shred one another apart. Like, man, what are you guys, NJ? What are you excited about going into Saturday? That's what I want to know.
Well, the main event, man, that last time there was the whole stipulation of if the Kellys won, you know, they'd get the shot at the championship. So I want to see the main event, obviously. And also, yeah, the buddy of mine who kind of introduced me to PPW, from what I understand, is having his debut match. I don't know much about it, so I can't talk much about it. But obviously, I'm hyped to shit for my man, you know, debut match. Let's fucking go. Even though I think I'll be booing him probably depending on his behavior in the ring. So we'll see.
And whether or not I know, I'm not going to be telling because there's only so much that can be revealed. Anything that has been revealed to the fans via our social media is all we'll be able to say. Looks like Basser wants to add a Chris Parrish t-shirt to his lineup there. He'll have a lot of t-shirts. But yeah, Pop Smokes, what are you looking forward to this coming Saturday night?
Everything, that whole awesome feeling of being at another packed PPW show. Like we've talked about before, I really think that our venue is one of the stars of the show because it's a little unwieldy. We almost have too many fans for that venue, but I would hate to ever leave the intimacy of that venue. it's so personal that everyone's jammed in together, and it makes a certain energy and a heat and an action to the whole room, and I just love it like that. But other than that, I want to see this championship match. I'm all about the main event, baby. Sheik Akbar Shabazz versus Colton Kelly, and that's going to be really interesting because we know that Cannonball Kelly was kind of having some mixed feelings at the end of last time's main event. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what state of mind he'll be in at the show.
Yeah, we got Millball saying, Sheiky, baby.
Yeah.
That's right, Sheiky, baby. And I absolutely agree with that. Great space. Yeah, and it is. And we hear that all the time. Bear saying sold out, waiting on the back order. That would be in reference to the shirt. I guarantee you PPW is going to be sold out because there is a limit to how many fans we can allow in. We sold out all of the extremely higher priced tickets for reserve seating. There is a limited amount that go for twice the amount of the regular door prices. Those sold out within 5 minutes of them going on sale. Aside from that, we have had a lot of pre-sales happen already. We got people saying they're going to be at the door, people traveling from out of province to come see, including our good friend Chris Parrish, who's coming down to his very first ever Prairie Pro Wrestling show and partying with us afterwards. It's going to be a good old party over at Amigos afterwards. So anybody who's at Prairie Pro Wrestling this Saturday night, I'm telling you, it's a good time to head on down and join us there. It's going to be a fun time. But yeah, main events are fantastic. It's going to be great to see a lot of the faces that are there. And as you say, your buddy making his debut match, yep, there will be a few new faces actually in the fold, but we'll find that out this Saturday night. It's going to be a hell of a time. And of course, I've been teasing you guys with it for a while now on the show here, but I'm going to be able to reveal it after this weekend. And anybody who's going to be there in a live capacity, I have made entrance videos for every single one of the wrestlers that is going to be competing. So pending that there is no difficulties technically with the equipment at the show, we will have entrance videos for everybody involved, giving a new look and a new feel to Prairie Pro Wrestling this weekend. Pretty stoked about it.
Oh. Hell yeah, Munson. Good job on that. You made a batch years ago for some of the other wrestlers in the other company we worked for, but you were telling me already, these blow those ones away. I'm so excited to see the results.
Bobby Titantron.
That's right.
I think it should be the Munson-tron.
The Munson-tron. The Munson-tron 3000. It's got a nice ring to it right there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now in beta tape. No, it's going to be a cool experience. I know that I think I teased a little bit of the demo of what we had going on there the other day. For obvious reasons, within the restrictions of YouTube and Twitch, I am unable to play, I would say, pretty much every single one of them, just about the songs, because of copyright material. We will get flagged for it. So unfortunately, I won't be sharing that with you guys. There is a couple of the wrestlers that have their own individual songs that are pre-made that wouldn't get flagged, but I didn't necessarily ask them, so I'm not going to go ahead with it here tonight. We got Munson-tron seems to be taking on an identity here. Anti-Wooji getting in on that one. I like the sounds of it. Barely Munson-tron's going to be going across province too, because I got to make a video there for El Asesino as he takes a booking over in Alberta for where we used to do a little bit of work, Pop Smokes, Love Wrestling. They dared to open the doors to El Asesino's return to Alberta.
Terrible idea.
Yeah. They're in for it. I mean, they call it Love Wrestling. There's going to be a whole lot of love being shown when El Asesino walks through it over there.
I don't think they know what they've done here yet, but they're going to find out.
They sure are. And again, shout out to Love Wrestling. You can catch them on Twitch. You'll be able to watch their shows monthly on Twitch as they broadcast out of Edmonton, Alberta area. So shout out to them, and shout out to a lot of the shared roster that we share with our friends over at Love Wrestling there. So, man, yeah, it's gonna be absolutely pumped up this Saturday night, you guys. It's gonna be great, Enjay, for you to be there with a lot of the people that you're bringing along with you. We did talk to everybody, and we're gonna have at some point in time, whether it be intermission or before the show starts up, Akimbo will play also up on the Munson-tron. That is the plan at the moment there. So we will get your song played there at the show. Very much looking forward to it. But at this point in time, I'm going to ask the audience, if you guys are tuning in right now, I want to find out there. Yeah. And Enjay, I'll find you.
So down for the beer.
Yeah, for sure. There we go.
So down for the beer. Hold, real quick, Munsentron, that's a shirt. That's a shirt right there. I'm telling you. That's a shirt.
Munsentron, not a shirt.
Just a Titantron, but it's your face or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
You still use hashtag money shot on the back because Money Months is bringing the bling. Good being it. And as always, remember you guys, if you throw us a sub here on Twitch, we will give you a spin of the spinner any given time. So make sure that you give us a subscription here on Twitch. It helps us out. We need to make some of the dinero in order to keep this thing going. Oh my God, yes. Yes, and it's going to be a rocking time. Just for 1 minute here, though, guys, we are going to go and throw it over to a commercial from our sponsors. We're going to come right back, talk a couple more things before we head out for the evening. Be right back with you guys. And that's our good friends over at Rogue Energy. You can save 10% on your order and use the promo code OLE pods in order to do that. Just thinking here, while we've got you, Enjay, we got a little bit of a thing we do here at our local establishment because our call letters are OLE. Our good friend Chris Parrish, who's still waiting for that Parrish video, apparently. Talk to me, brother. I don't know what Parrish video you're talking about. You need an entrance video? We'll see. We'll talk. Maybe I got time before Saturday still. But anyway, where was I going with this? Yes, the call letters OLE is for Olay, and we have something we like to call the Olay Pod Challenge, where we just get you to give us a good Olay into the microphone so that we can clip that and add it to a video.
Oh man. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. My 420 smoky lungs are going to be put to the test, but let's try it. Ole!
There we go.
Ooh, that was
a nice dramatic one.
I like that one.
Yeah, Munson Vision from Chris Parrish there too. The shit writes itself, doesn't it? But yeah, it's gonna be a good time this Saturday, guys. Before we get going, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, whether it be Prairie Pro or anything, or questions you've got for us, Enjay, going into this weekend?
Well, it's actually one thing I wanted to mention. Like you were talking about, just the energy in there and the venue, and how it's super packed in there. I mean, the last show, even for a February show, winter live events typically don't pull as much as in the spring and summer. So get here early for this one. But one thing I wanted to say is I'm coming with a pretty big group of people, probably 10 of us. But like 7 of them, this is like their very first wrestling event.
All right.
And it was people who just saw the music video, the Akimbo video, and also saw videos that I posted of the last show, of the last PPW show, that were like, I need to go to this. Like, how, where are tickets? How do I? And so I bought a bunch of tickets, bringing a handful of people. I'm gonna need to hook up the connection for some reserved though in the future, because I think they're worth the money for those reserved tickets. I think it's funny. I made the joke after the last show. I was their first ever champion.
Different PPW there, Parrish. Different PPW.
Yeah, I made the joke after the last show because I recently did a live show a couple of months before that where we charged $15 as well for admission. And I was telling my buddy, I was like, fuck, man, like, I almost feel like we have to charge less because like the amount of entertainment I got out of that $15, is crazy compared to like what I think people are getting coming to my shows. Not to sell myself short, but that's just to say how like electric the energy is in the room for PPW. I think everybody just comes ready to just let it all out, and which made me happy as a first time goer. Beers will be brought to Sask on me. Great. I'll have a beer. I have multiple people that I need to have beers with, so I will be having beers, and then amigos afterwards.
Oh yeah. No, so it's gonna be a good old party time. So we got all the regulars that are coming down. We got our good buddy Chris Parrish, who's coming all the way down from the Edmonton area to join us as well too. It's gonna be a fun ass time. We're gonna rock the house until we probably are told that it's time to leave. But that's it's the go-to place afterwards. It's a lot of fun over there. Great atmosphere, good people. So yeah, of course, you and your friends welcome to come join and hang out down at Amigos afterwards, along with anybody. But one thing I did have to go to before we kind of say our goodbyes and stuff too is I did promise we'd give away 2 tickets to PPW, but I don't know if we have a lot of people in the chat that are going to be in the Saskatoon area that can take those tickets. So I'm wondering what we could do here. I might have to go some other direction with this. Give those tickets away to 2 unexpected people or something like that, because I'm pretty sure that most people in the chat that are coming are already taken care of. So, you know what, NJ, how about I'm gonna put NJ down on the list as getting one of those tickets, and give me the name of somebody else. The tickets are on me. We had 2 spares here. Didn't have the crowd tonight looking to get the free tickets, so.
It's all good.
You're our guest. The tickets are on myself and Pop Smokes this time. So just let me know afterwards who your guest is, and I'll put you down at the door.
Hey, appreciate it. I secured as many tickets as I could, but I couldn't quite get enough for everybody. So a few people are meeting us there at the door. So hey, that works out perfectly. So awesome. We're gonna be there. Knowing that there's people there at 5:45, we might have to get out there pretty early. So,
well, just know that when you look to the front of the line there at 5:45 or just shortly after, that's our boy Basser that was in the chat there. So, Basser, now you know NJ.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll say what's up for sure. We'll have a beer. I'll definitely be at Amigos after. Love Amigos. They're a staple. Shout out to Brant over there, just cause he's a great guy for no particular reason, but yeah, man, for sure. Amigos after, and PPW Saturday. I'm so excited.
I heard one of the cooks over there is like the coolest dude on the planet.
Man, everyone over there is super cool. It's just a great place to be, you know?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun time. Looking forward to it. Of course, it's gonna all go down. But NJ, take this time here to let people know where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, what you got going on, what do you got booked, any shows or anything like that. As we'll throw a ticker up with some of your.
Awesome, yeah. So I'm Enjay's World on pretty much everything. So my website also enjaysworld.com. I have most of my music and my videos on centralized on that website. Feel free to follow me on any socials. I'm super responsive. I love just posting non-music stuff on there. I share a lot of just like other shit I'm into, like games, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. We can talk whatever over there. I don't have any shows or anything coming up. This has been kind of majority of my energy going to this. And then, going forward, I have a few stuff going on with my band. So I guess, the other thing would be follow my band. We're called 6M, where our music is available everywhere. Listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify. But yeah, both my solo music and the 6M music, I do all the vocals for. And it's more just good ass rapping. So if you like what you hear in the solo stuff, listen to 6M. It's a little bit more adventurous. The production is a little bit more insane, just because my friend Alex does all the production and he's a genius. But yeah, check out NJ, check out 6M, and please, if you see me at the show, say what's up, because I'm totally down to just have a good time, meet a bunch of people, and like I said, I'm really happy the door is open with PPW to hopefully have a good relationship and do more stuff in the future, because I don't know, I could see myself. I don't know, man. I want to be like a character or something one day. I want to just go out there and like rap at a guy and then get hit in the back with a chair or something. Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you guys will end up seeing a little bit more and more of me in the future. But yeah, very, very blessed, very grateful for how receptive everybody's been, how great the PPW community is as well. They've been just embracing me like crazy and showing a lot of love on the video. So thank you, everybody.
Awesome, man. And we appreciate having you here tonight. Papa Smokes, why don't you let the good people know where they can find good old Papa Smokes?
Oh, yeah. As usual, I can be found on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as Twitter at smokes_papa. And then I'm on Twitch at papa_smokes_.
Fantastic. Always love hearing you say that, Papa Smokes. Here you can find me. You can check out the ticker down below. But you can also find me here on various shows on our local establishment, of course, being this Sunday with Chris Parrish. And I believe Basser might be joining us this Sunday on screen as well, too. So we will do our best to pick ourselves up the next morning after a night of partying. And we're going to get out there and bust it out like we always do. It is going to be great. We're going to bring the fun for you guys this Sunday, talking the week in professional wrestling and going off the rails just like we always do. In the meantime and in between time, guys, we are going to send over the raid here on Twitch to our good friend Heel Kevin. Give him a nice OLE. Welcome. He is a fantastic dude, always doing great stuff, going great places over there. And if you're still with us on the YouTube, we will be here with you for a couple more seconds as we try to come to an end here. We want to thank Enjay for joining us, and we want to thank everybody for following and watching the show here tonight. We look forward to seeing you guys out this Saturday night for Prairie Pro Wrestling presents the Bridge City Beatdown. From the three of us here tonight, we say happy 420, and we will see you next Thursday night. Take care, everybody.
Peace.